The Torah says that there is a sacred day for rest, but most do the opposite, and then wonder why abundance does not remain. Turn off notifications. This is important. Imagine this scene. It's Saturday morning. You wake up, look at the house and think, I need to clean. You grab the broom, the cloth, the cleaning product. And unknowingly, you are sweeping away along with the dirt something that Kabbalah calls Shefa HaShabbat, the spiritual flow of Shabbat, which is the source of all abundance for the following week. In Jewish tradition, Shabbat, from sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday, is much more than a day of rest. It is the spiritual root of all prosperity. The Zohar teaches that all the days of the week receive their blessing from Shabbat. All of them. Without Shabbat, the other 6 days remain spiritually empty. In my family, it is said that my grandmother Sarah, who arrived in Brazil around the 1930s, coming from the region of Turkey, from the Sephardic community of Istanbul, was absolutely strict about one thing. No cleaning on Shabbat. None. The house was cleaned on Friday before sunset, and from the moment the candles were lit, nothing else moved. She would say, on Shabbat, even the dust rests. If you don't let the dust rest, you are telling the Eternal that you don't trust that He can take care of the cleaning. If this theme resonates with you, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, how do you spend your Saturday? What do you do and what do you avoid doing? In this video, you will discover 3 things. First, why Shabbat is called Mekor HaBerakah, the source of all blessing, and how disrespecting it directly affects your parnassah. Second, the Kabbalistic principle of Neshama Yetera, the additional soul you receive on Shabbat, and how it connects with prosperity. Third, how to honor the Shabbat practically, even if you do not follow the tradition formally. The fundamental principle is this: Shabbat is not a pause, it is a source. Most people think of rest as an interruption of work, but Kabbalah teaches the opposite. Work is an interruption of rest. The natural state of the soul is menucha, peace, tranquility. The work of the 6 days is necessary, but it is the Shabbat that sustains everything. In Kabbalah, the concept of Shefa HaShavua, flow of the week, works like this. On Shabbat, the Eternal sends the portion of spiritual abundance for the entire week that follows. It is like a reservoir that fills up once a week. If you do not allow the reservoir to fill, because you are busy cleaning, working, doing, the following week becomes spiritually depleted. The concept of Neshama Yetera, additional soul, is fascinating. The Talmud teaches that every Friday at sunset, each person receives an additional soul, an extra portion of spiritual consciousness. This soul brings with it an enhanced capacity for perception, gratitude, and connection with the divine. And it is this additional soul that functions as an antenna, capturing the Shefa that will sustain the week. If you are cleaning, rushing, working during Shabbat, the Neshama Yetera finds no space to manifest. It's like having a powerful antenna but covered in interference. The signal exists, but it doesn't come through. When you clean the house on Shabbat, in Kabbalistic language, you are doing something called Mekalel Shabbat, profaning the sacred space. And the profanation is not punishment. It is a consequence. Just like putting your hand in the fire burns not as punishment, but as a natural consequence. Imagine someone like Fernando, self-employed, works 6 days a week, and on Saturday takes the opportunity to do everything he couldn't. Clean, organize, resolve pending matters. When he started to experiment with stopping, even if he didn't follow the tradition formally, something changed. Mondays began to have a different energy. Ideas came with more clarity. Opportunities seemed to arise more frequently. He didn't change anything at work. He changed Saturday. The Jewish tradition has a millennia-old relationship with prosperity. If you want to delve deeper, the material is in the description. Now let's get to the practice. The partial Shabbat exercise. If you can't observe the full Shabbat, the tradition understands that each person is on their own path. Here is a practical start. Exercise 1. The sacred period. Choose at least 3 hours on Saturday, preferably in the morning, where you do not clean, do not work, do not resolve pending matters. Declare this period as your personal Shabbat. When you begin, say, "This time is Kodesh, sacred. I rest to receive." Exercise 2. The preparation of Friday. Do the cleaning on Friday. Organize the house before sunset. Treat the preparation as part of the ritual, not as a household chore. While cleaning, say, "I am preparing my Mikdash mat to receive the Shabbat." Exercise 3. Intentional silence. During your 3 hours of Shabbat, turn off your cell phone, or at least the notifications. Allow silence to create space for the Neshama Yetera to manifest. Read something uplifting. Pray. Simply be present. Do this for 7 consecutive Saturdays. Notice what changes in your week, in your energy, in your clarity, in your parnassah. What this practice cultivates: space. The Shabbat is, above all, space. Space for the eternal to act. Space for the Shefa to enter. Space for the soul to breathe. And when there is space, there is abundance. If you practice, come back here and share. Let's recap. First, the Shabbat is the source of all blessing of the week, not a pause. Second, the Neshama Yetera is the spiritual antenna that captures the weekly Shefa. Third, start with 3 hours of partial Shabbat, preparation on Friday, intentional silence. My blessing for you. May the Eternal grant you the sweetness of Shabbat. May the sacred rest fill your soul with Shefa for the whole week. May your Fridays be of joyful preparation. And may your Saturdays be of deep peace, Shalom Menucha, the peace of true rest. Yevarechecha Adonai Ve'yishmerecha. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Amen. If this teaching was helpful, leave a like, subscribe, share. In the next video, I will reveal the color that Jewish tradition associates with blocking abundance, and why avoiding it changes the energy of your home. I'll see you there. Shalom Aleichem. See you in the next study.